Someone give me the little sound check. Can I get a sound check in the chat, por favor? Ron, you're usually my sound check guy. You're usually the first guy. You're usually the first guy in there, Ron. Sound check. Sound check. Thank you, Rage Quit Gamer. Wow, fellas. Wow. Oh, wow. Where do I begin? Give me 1 second. I'm just getting my bearings here. And what an absolute treat the boys gave us tonight. You guys already know, win or lose, we booze. Tonight we're drinking victory beers, kids. Brought to you by Stella Artois. I believe the first appearance by the Stella on the program. And let me just, hopefully the tab doesn't break. And let me just, let me just get. Victory beers are delicious. Welcome back, Devils fans. It is your host, Ace, here on Running with the Devils, where we are talking New Jersey Devils hockey all year long. Please hit that subscribe button, smash the like, share with a friend. Thank you very much. And I would be remiss if I didn't start off the program with a little...
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? The New Jersey Devils starting their... I hate this microphone. Starting the Western Canada road trip, going to Vancouver, playing the Canucks in the second Hughes Bowl, all three Hughes brothers. I'm expecting an exciting, tight game, but I'm not going to complain. What do we get? A 6-0 New Jersey Devils absolute shit kicking of the Vancouver Canucks. And this is the team we all wanted to see, my friends. This is the team I was hoping to see after the Fitzy's summer acquisitions. This was the team I've been waiting for. We had the 4-game slide. We played well enough to win a couple of those games. The Doomsdayers were out in full force. I'm covering up for life and taking my stab wounds, deflecting here with some of you New Jersey Devils optimists and, people who refuse to call a season over in October. I appreciate all of you. We were under attack, under siege. The Doomsdayers came here, and they came in droves, talking all sorts of nonsense before Halloween. And this team is looking like the team we wanted to see, crushing the Canucks tonight by a score of 6-0. And there's a lot to get to here. I mean, this has just been, what a night. It was never in question. The boys came out crisp, firing on all cylinders, and you absolutely love to see it. Early on, only 53 seconds into the game, folks. It didn't take long.
He's pretty, and he lives in Jersey City. Number 13, Nico Hischier.
Nico Hischier, El Capitan. I'm going to break this microphone. At 53 seconds into the game, Dawson Mercer picks up the puck in the D zone, makes a nice little move, comes in on the 2-on-1 with Nico. He feeds him, and Nico snipes another one, his league-leading 10th goal. Absolutely phenomenal finish by Nico. I don't know if this guy's eating his Wheaties, what he's doing. He needs to keep doing it because he is playing out of his mind. Devils up 1-0 after the first period. We head to the second, and another play started by the captain. He picks up a loose puck in the D zone. He just turns up the ice, comes in on a 2-on-1 with Mercer, takes the shot, big juicy rebound. Dawson Mercer corrals it and roofs it for the shorty. Dawson Mercer with, I believe, his third career shorthanded goal at 1:35 of the second, giving the Devils the 2-0 lead, and now I am jacked. I'm like, all right. The captain started it off. The captain drives this play. Dawson buries a shorty. And about a minute and a half later at 3:07, Nico once again grabs the puck in the D zone and just flies up the ice. Flies up the middle of the ice, dumps it off to Timo on the wing, and Timo rips one. Boom. Timo's 5th of the season. Nico's 5th assist on the season. And let's give it up for my man Timo.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Timo Meyer doing Timo Meyer things. You all know it's always Timo time in the Running with the Devil studio, and Timo time is officially 10:17 because the battery's broke. So it's going to be Timo time at 10:17 until I change that battery. Timo giving the Devils a 3-0 lead, and now I'm fired up. At 3-0, I'm like, we're taking their soul tonight. Not only are we winning this game, we are going to take their soul. Timo gives them the 3-0 lead at 3:07, and at 14:04, some of you may have thought hell froze over, but it did not. Andre Palat getting his first of the season. A lot of us have been so desperate to see this. And Palat kind of dumps it to Dougie from center ice. Dougie enters the zone with it. Palat cuts the net. Dougie gives it back to him. Palat takes a shot. Save. Palat follows his rebound. Puts it past the netminder. And the Canucks quickly sweep it out. I don't know if they thought they were going to get away with that. But come on, guys. It's 2024. We have instant replay technology and all that fun stuff. So play continues on for a little bit. They go and review it. All the guys, the Devils on the ice, thought it was a goal. And sure enough, they review it. Palat gets his first at 14:04 from Dougie and Jack Hughes, giving the Devils the 4-0 lead. That is how the second period ends. And then we go to the third. We go to the third period. What does the third period have in store for us? At 9:22. On the power play, the Canucks kind of lose sight of Jack. And he just sets up right in front of the net. Stefan Nason hits him right there, and Jack just puts it right between the wickets, real nice and calm on the doorstep. Not even a big celebration. Jack's fourth this season on the power play from Nason and Bratt, giving the Devils the 5-0 lead. And then the final mercy shot into the back of the Canucks' head at 14:06. Thomas Tatar, great work down low by the fourth line, putting some pressure on the Canucks. Tatar's parked in front of the net. Bastian just throws it towards net. Throw pucks on net, see what happens. It hits a Canucks defenseman, kind of comes right to Tatar. He buries it, giving the Devils the 6-0 lead. Tatar's second of the season. And that is how the game would end, my friends. A 6-0 drubbing of the Vancouver Canucks. I cannot say I saw this coming, but I could not say that I'm shocked. I have said from the summer, with the tweakings we made in the offseason, that I do believe on paper this is a better version of that 22-23 Devils team. Now, there was some things going for the Devils in that season, which was kind of their breakout season. They did catch a lot of teams by surprise. I'll give you guys all of that. And then, teams kind of had us marked down now as we're going to be, a barometer for a lot of teams. They're going to get fired up to play the Devils because the Devils are like the new it team. That was, after 22-23. But Markstrom, when he's playing like tonight, this is the thing. He just needs to be consistent. A lot of people are like, we still have goalie problems. Markstrom sucks. Markstrom was on his A game tonight. He wasn't tested all too much. He made a ton of high danger saves. Let me see. What was the final shots on goal? But he was all over the place, dialed in when he needed to be. Yeah. Perfect on 20 shots. And there was at least 3 or 4 of them that were very high percentage chances that he stopped. And he was locked in. It looked like he was tracking the puck well. He was diving on loose pucks, covering up rebounds, and doing everything you want to see. If Markstrom plays like he did tonight, and again, I pointed out, I thought he was amazing in Game 1 of the Global Series in Prague. I thought he played very well, and very well may have been the reason we won that Ottawa game. We didn't really dominate that Ottawa game by any stretch, and, you can make the argument that Ottawa kind of outplayed us for a lot of the game. Still got the win because Markstrom was on his A game. When he is on, he is a very good to elite goaltender. Now, the question is, how consistently is he going to be able to play like that? And that's what we're all hoping, he kind of dials in and becomes more consistent with it. But you could see when Markstrom is seeing the puck and he's on his game, tonight was one of those nights where it was going to take a very special shot to beat Jacob Markstrom. And I'm hoping to continually see this from him. And I'm hoping, and I might be getting a little crazy here because of the way the goaltenders are managed in today's game, I am hoping that we see Jacob Markstrom start the next 2 games on this road trip. I don't want to see anything other than Markstrom. I want this man to play 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever it is. I got to look ahead at the schedule. But as long as they're not back-to-backs, I need to see Markstrom in net often because he is just – he's lights out when he's on. And thank you in the chat. I totally forgot in my excitement. How could I forget? Eric Hall with a spirited scrap against Garland. He had seen enough. Garland was kind of chirping, running around, and Hall is like, let's do this dance, bro. Shed the gloves. He did a little shimmy, And then Haula beat the shit out of him, fed him with some nice shots. I think Garland may have landed like 1 or 2. But decisive W for Erik Haula, just peppering Garland. He saw enough. Beautiful fight by Haula. I just saw that in the corner of my eye, so I would have eventually saw it in my other notes. But shout out to whoever mentioned that. Absolutely cannot forget the spirited scrap from Erik Haula that saw Garland just get his face beat in. You absolutely love to see it. You guys know I love the fisticuffs. I'm all about the fisticuffs. And when teams want to test us, we got to give them what they want. And Haula did that. But overall, you basically saw everything you would want to see from the New Jersey Devils tonight. We saw 6 different goal scorers, including Andre Palat and Tomas Tatar. Who had that on their bingo card? The 2 of them scoring? I don't think many people had that. We got a power play goal. We got a shorthanded goal. Haula with the beautiful scrap. Markey with his first New Jersey Devils career shutout. Shout out to Markey with that beautiful shutout. And Captain Nico Hischier is just on another planet right now. A 3-point night for Nico, a goal and 2 assists, just driving the play, making insane defensive plays, breaking up plays, just getting sticks and lanes on the penalty kill. Forget the Selke trophy. Right now, Nico Hischier is a legitimate Hart Trophy candidate. Let me repeat that. And again, it's very early in the season. But as of this very moment, the New Jersey Devils captain, Nico Hischier, is a legitimate, not a far-fetched, I'm not reaching here. He is a legitimate Hart Trophy candidate as most valuable player in the league. Period. He now has 15 points in 12 games played, coming from 10 goals and 5 assists, doing everything in every zone, defensively responsible, winning big faceoffs, penalty kill, power play. Nico does it all. This man is a treasure, and we are so fortunate to have him as our captain. This year, he is just breaking out in levels that I don't think any of us could have ever seen coming. I mean, his shot, he's just, he was always a very good offensive player, but he looks like a lethal sniper this season. He is just burying, like picking corners and just ripping pucks past goalies like effortlessly. It's been a beautiful thing to watch. He's been an absolute force. And again, he is a legitimate Hart Trophy candidate as of this very moment. Also, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Jesper Bratt, quietly kind of sliding under the radar. He has a point in 11, or at least a point or more in 11 of the Devils' 13 games played. He was only held pointless in the opening game in Prague against Buffalo, and he was also pointless against Ottawa in that 3-1 win at Ottawa a little while back. I mean, Jesper Bratt, just Mr. Consistency. I've long maintained that he's been our most consistent, forward for the past few seasons because he's played most of the games and he's damn near a point per game guy. I mean, what more could you want? He has been absolutely clutch for the New Jersey Devils and love to see him as part of our core. I mean, a lot of people have been down on Bratt at different points in time, but the guy is something special and another New Jersey treasure. I mean, wow. Absolutely beautiful game. I'm just trying to look here. This was very cool. BME Haula blew a kiss to the crowd after the fight. I saw that in the box. I don't know if they must have had him up on the Jumbotron or whatever. That was absolutely hilarious. I enjoyed that as well. Garland got dummied. They kept Vancouver to the outside the whole game and didn't really allow high danger chances. They did allow some. It wasn't all peaches and cream for Mr. Markstrom back there. I agree that the Canucks were out on the perimeter a lot, but they had a couple in tight chances that Markstrom had to come up big. The insane Pollock, how you doing, sir? Didn't I say 3 games ago to get off the ledge? Pepperidge Farm members. SST is crying in his bed right now. I put the noose back in the sock drawer for now. Put the noose away. You could put your shoelaces back in your sneakers. Step away from the ledge. You could put the sharp objects back out. This team, I am hoping that this is the official turnaround of our season. I'm hoping that ugly 4-game losing streak was the low point of the season, that we have put that behind us, started off with a beautiful victory at home against the Ducks, stomping them by a score of 6-2, and now we're on the Western Canada road trip. And what better way to open a Western Canada road trip than opening up a New Jersey can of whoop ass and beating the Canucks by a score of 6-0, and you saw everything you want to see, guys. I saw almost everything. You couldn't have wrote a better script. Nico continues to dominate. Check. Shorthanded goal. Why not? Check. Jack Hughes buries one. Check. We see some fisticuffs when the time calls for it. Check. Markstrom on top of his game and a shutout. Check. You couldn't have wrote this up any better. It was just a beautiful performance from start to finish. I can't imagine, how Luke Hughes is feeling after this one. And I was getting tons of texts from a lot of my buddies. A lot of them are super, hopeful or whatever. They all believe that at some point Quinn Hughes will be a New Jersey Devil. Now, I would love to see it. But before I get ahead of myself, obviously Quinn is a very elite player, won the Norris Trophy. The guy's one of the best in the league, period. Never mind defenseman. He's one of the best players in the league. I do think the deal Luke Hughes signs as a restricted free agent this summer will be very telling. If he goes for the jugular and wants as much money as he could get from Fitz and wants, commands monster money, it will be very difficult, in my opinion, to have all three Hughes brothers on our team in the salary cap era. I mean, Jack's making $8 million. Depending on what Luke gets, I mean, you're still talking about, even if Luke signs a team-friendly deal, you're still talking about damn near $25 million between three brothers. I think it's going to be tough. I hope it happens. I mean, what a story for the Devils. I mean, how amazing would it be to get him as a player, aside from all the other nonsense and the marketing stuff that comes with that? And I would love to see it. I just am not as convinced as some of my buddies are, but some of them are they're completely believers that it's going to happen and it's inevitable. Well, time will tell on that front, but I'm very curious to see what kind of deal, Luke gets this summer. Look how well this team played after being able to finally have a rest in practice. Yeah, I mean, that schedule was grueling, man. I think they said they only had 2 or 3 practices, the whole season because of all the games and the way they were, super heavy schedule in October. I mean, practice and rest does a team well. We have no more 4 games in 6 days. The rested and practiced New Jersey Devils. They might be a little mad when we play them again in March, but who cares? Bring it. Absolutely bring it. This team looks like they're ready for war. They absolutely look like they're ready for war. Siegs, Kovacevic pairing looking good still. Pesci looks fine, but Luke needs to stop turning over pucks. That's going to come in time. Keefe eventually is going to hold him to the fire. He's only played, 3 or 4 games now? I think you're going to see that for a little while. Devils breakout was great all game. Very speedy. And I think that's what happens, when we play teams that try to play run and gun, that falls right into our hands because in the end, not too many teams are going to be able to outrun and gun the New Jersey Devils. It seemed like the Canucks were kind of trying. Now, I'm very curious to see the next time the Devils play a very heavy, a lot of us have talked about this before, a very heavy forechecking physical team. They try to grind us down and beat on us. That seems to be the type of games the Devils have the most trouble in. But if a team wants to, trade chances and play run and gun, not too many times the Devils are going to lose that type of game because of the personnel we have. The players are just built for that type of game. So when you want to do that sort of game, no problem. The Devils will love to play that. Look at the talent we have on the roster. I mean, Nico alone, he scored the first goal, and then the second 2 were completely just Nico picking up the puck in the D zone and flying up the ice and making something happen. I mean, it was crazy. Nico looked like a man on fire tonight. Garland held his own. That was a good fight for both. Hall won. I mean, yeah, Garland, he didn't get embarrassed, but he definitely got his ass kicked. He came on a little bit stronger towards the end of the fight, but, Halla was pounding him. Gem Card collecting, shout out Gem Card. He was in the building tonight to witness this. He sent me a video of all the Canucks fans leaving after the 5th goal. You absolutely love to see it. Great game tonight. Had a blast. So happy we got Markey his deserved shutout. Safe to say we own Vancouver. Was a bonus seeing all the Canucks fans leave with 10 minutes left in the game. Yeah, unbelievable. Why are they putting Big Mac on D? I don't think they are. So I saw that he was practicing with the D. I think that was just, for practice sake, potentially. I don't think we will ever see, because of the overwhelming amount of defensemen we have, I do not believe we will ever see Curtis McDermott play a game as a New Jersey Devil on defense. I just can't see it happening. And so I think that was for practice purposes because we had 4 full lines. I guess for whatever reason, they threw him in the defenseman jersey, and I believe that's all that was about. I hope to see him again soon. I do love the element he brings, but after a game like tonight, I'm hoping we don't see much of a change. Because it has just been, tonight was just a beautiful thing to see. I wish I had a beer or something. Well, Ron, go get yourself a beer, my man. Go get yourself a beer because Victory beers, they just taste so much better. Victory beers have a special taste to them. Please play this way when they come to Florida. Please play this way for the rest of the season. Please play this way for the rest of the season. It's going to be an awkward family breakfast tomorrow. Yeah, maybe. But it is what it is. Team Jack and Luke put the thumping on Quinn's Canucks. McDermott was proud of Hall tonight, I bet. I bet you he was. I bet you he absolutely was. Jersey Roots, victory! Hello, Mary. How are you? Yeah, appreciate all you. You guys are. I didn't expect this type of crowd tonight. So tipping my cap to you. I almost said I always default to saying fellas, and I don't mean that. And then I just saw Mary's name, so I have to remember. While it is a predominantly male crowd, we also have a few women in here as well. So shout out to all the ladies and gentlemen here tonight. I did not expect this type of turnout at damn near 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, but here we are. Cheers to all of you, the New Jersey Devils fan community. What a beautiful night. What a beautiful way to start our road trip. And we just got to keep it going. Just got to keep it going because this was it was a work of art tonight. It really was. It was an absolute work of art. Can the Devils exclusively play the Sabres and Canucks all year? I wish that was the case. That would be hilarious, and we would be getting a lot of wins. Jersey Roots, what's going on, Ace and all the Devils Barbarians? Jared, best game of the season. They played the full 60. Couldn't agree more. Everything clicked. All the lines looked great. The power play goes 1 for 2. The penalty kill is perfect. We saw a little bit of everything, a little bit of everyone getting on the scoreboard. Markstrom looking like the guy that we all were expecting to get, off to a shaky start with some brutal statistics because of a couple bad outings. But Markstrom looking like the guy we wanted. And let me just reload here. We look at the final game stats. Devils with 22 shots on goal. You'd like to see more than that, to be honest. But when you're burying, over a 25% scoring rate, well, let me actually just do the math on that. It's probably like 28%. Yeah, 27%. Six shots, 6 goals on 22 shots. Faceoffs very even. Devils at 49.1. The Canucks at 50.9. Devils 1 for 2 on the power play. Canucks 0 for 4, and you love to see it. That was a huge kill early on in the game on the double minor when Bratt high sticks quinnhughes and he got that little bit of blood. What a weak double minor, and you really don't see the double minor. The double minor is not quite extinct, but the double minor is certainly an endangered species. You are not seeing too many double minors. We saw it against us tonight. Devils killed it off, and that's when I started to feel really good. I forgot about that earlier. That penalty kill was aggressive. They were getting in the lanes. Nico made, I think, 2 or 3 great plays to get the puck out of the zone during that, and you'd love to see it. The penalty kill was looking sharp. Devils with 20 hits, the Canucks with 43. The Canucks are a very physical team. Very, very physical. I wouldn't have thought we got out hit more than 2-1 because we were finishing our hits. But, yeah, you'd like to see that hits number up a little bit. But I guess when you're in the offensive zone for a majority of the game and flying around and scoring 6 goals, that'll decrease your hits number, I suppose. Devils with 15 block shots, Canucks with 14. Devils 15 giveaways, Canucks with 7. Devils with 8 takeaways, and the Canucks with 5 takeaways. And this was a great performance, guys. It really was. I have no complaints. Sheldon Keefe must feel like he's on cloud 9 right now. What a dominant win for his team. Where are the Doomers? Do the Canucks count as a good team? Are we allowed to celebrate? So it's an interesting point you make there, Chico. I've told all the people that keep saying that rhetoric of, we beat all the shit teams and lose to good teams. Like I said before, there's not too many actually bad teams in the league. And a lot of the wins we had prior to tonight are teams that are going to be in the playoff hunt. If they're not playoff teams, they will be in the hunt for the playoffs. And they all have very skilled players, star players, and guys that could score. This is the NHL, the best players on planet Earth. And so there's not too many gimmies in this league. No one's laying down and just giving points away. People are playing for pride. People are playing for money. People are playing for their personal stats. And yes, I do agree that the Ducks are like a bad team. But how are people going to say, the Sabres, Capitals, Utah, Ottawa, these are all teams that if they're not in the playoffs, they're going to be right in it till the very end. So for people to just dismiss, just because we lost to Toronto and Carolina, people are like, see, we lose to the good teams. I mean, those are 2, upper echelon teams, I would say, with super high level of skill. Why does this not work? Puck Gobo, some bucks for the channel, some bucks for future Victory Beers. Let's go, Devil. Woo. Puck Gobo, thank you very much, sir. Very much appreciated. Victory Beers are the best type of beers. Appreciate your contribution. Let's go, Devils. And sorry if that took me a little. I didn't see that right away. So I was ranting. And looking at the stats. I actually didn't even have the stream on my screen. Where was I? Lost the for the people trying to discredit the teams that we beat. I mean, get some new material, my friends, because I'm not here to placate the doomsdayers. We beat good teams, and tonight we beat another good team. A lot of people think the Canucks are capable of going on a deep run, and if they get some shit figured straightened out, I believe they could. The Canucks will be a playoff team for sure, and they have tons of star players. So again, for people looking to just kind of discredit the Devils' victories, yeah, I understand it sucks that we lost to Toronto and the Canes, but we're beating some good teams, and the Devils looked amazing tonight. Full 60, Louis. Absolutely, that is a 60-minute effort from opening puck drop to the final buzzer. The Devils just blew the doors off them. Well said, Black Atron. Blew the doors off them. Rich Reynolds, they did put up a six-pack. Robert, I haven't seen a near-perfect complete 60 in a very long time. And no, the Devils have been inconsistent thus far. A lot of us have been frustrated. We've seen glimmers of hope, and then they go back to, the shades of last year where we're getting scored on late in periods. They're giving up goals in bunches, and it is frustrating, and I understand, and I have PTSD as well, so I totally understand it. But for the people that come out after these types of performances and we're like, this is the same old Devils, the fit sucks, and, the doomsdayers, nah, bro. Sit back and relax. This team is going to be good, and we are starting to see the turnaround. Still a very new coach with new personnel. It takes time. Luke and Pesci just came back a few games ago, and this West Coast trip is looking like it's going to be the one that kind of sets the table for the boys. I really believe it. The Canucks won the Pacific last year. They were one goal away from going to the Western Conference Finals, and the Devils completely dominated them. This was a statement win, and the statement is we have arrived. I mean, I'm not going to get too crazy. I mean, again, and I've said this when all the, the doomsdayers came out, and the thing I kept saying was it's only game 10, it's only game 11. And I still say that when the Devils win. It is still super early in the season, but this is very encouraging to see a performance like this with scoring from all over the roster, solid defensive play, solid goaltending. This is exactly what we wanted to see. And if the team continues to play like this for the rest of the season, it is going to be a magical one. Jersey Roots, like and subscribe, you animals. Thank you. Hit the thumbs up. It costs $0, 0 cents, half a second of your time. Please hit the thumbs up. Thank you very much. Dougie moved the glass with a hit tonight. Hischier is an animal. Nico Hischier is just on another planet right now. He is not earthly. He is not human. I don't know what happened to him over the summer, what came over him, but he just needs to continue playing like this. Nico is an absolute sniper, and like I said a few minutes ago, he is a legitimate Hart Trophy candidate as MVP right now. Again, only 13 games in the season. Great. Super early. Can he maintain this tear? Absolutely not. But he's going to have a monster season. An absolutely monster season. Jared, only 4 more points to sweep this Western road trip. That would be something special, and I could only hope it happens. Hall dropping the mitts. Beautiful. Nico clearly brought the Prague food and ladies home. That maybe he did. And Nico, we trust for sure. Got to show love to Timo and Timo time. Absolutely. One evil Devils with the shutout. Yes. Jason, Nico with more points than Jack this year. That's an interesting one. Will he finish with more points? That would be a really, really close one in my opinion. Let me see. Jack's only probably a few behind him right now. Let's see. Yeah, can Nico finish with more? I definitely think it's possible. That would certainly be a crazy development. Yeah, I mean, Jack has 12 points and Nico has 15. I think that's a real close one. That's like a coin flip. Hit that like for Ace. Thank you. Man, that was good to see Palat play like this tonight. I mean, yeah, when you see Palat, a guy like Palat, who a lot of people have been down on, and understandably because of his contract and all that, when you get the opportunity to play with top flight talent like Jack Hughes and Jesper Bratt, you're like, you want to see them do something. And tonight we saw it. And hopefully it continues. Now, if we see some issues with him on that line in the future, because obviously a lot of us groaned, we let out a collective sigh or like, when we saw he was getting bumped up to the first line. But if all the other lines down the lineup seem to work out and he's not a complete, dead weight on that line and everyone's still producing, then fine. Then, no one saw Plot being a first liner, but if it all works out for the whole team there, then so be it. Nico had a different look this season. Even just looking at his demeanor, looks like a grown man and a veteran. He's seeing the game like Rain Man right now. Yeah, I mean, he's playing chess and everyone else is playing checkers. I mean, that's just what he's just dominating games. And tonight was just another one where Nico single-handedly pretty much put the game away. He scores the first goal and then he creates the second and third goals, 3-0, and he was like, "Hold my beer." He was like, "Hold my beer. I just ended the Canucks, game over." And it was absolutely beautiful to see. Mercer with the shorty. Much respect to Markstrom. What's going on? Well, did my eyes receive me? Did the Devils score within the first minute of the game and not the other way around? Good to see Marky get a shutout and to see NJ hand the Nucks their asses. Let's go Devils. Yeah, absolutely. Your eyes did not deceive you, Walt. We did score in the first minute, and Marky got the shutout, and we whipped up on them. Yeah, Rich, that's what I'm trying to figure out. When did Nico become a sniper? I don't know. It was sometime this offseason. He was just like, I'm just going to come out here and just start scoring goals at an alarming rate. And he's been just an absolute sniper this entire season. Like I said, we all knew he was a gifted offensive player, but to do what he's been doing this season, I don't think anyone saw that. And it's just remarkable to watch. Keefe wants Bastian to crush dudes. Yeah, that was a thing leading up to the game in the past couple of days we saw from Nate and Sheldon Keefe talking about that Keefe wants him to be more physical, and I couldn't agree more. That's why I was a little disappointed when Dowling got the call up for the fourth line, because I do like, the fourth line to kind of be your identity line and be like just a complete pain in the ass to play against on a line that'll just come out there and punch you in the mouth. And I thought, obviously, when we started the season, the Cotter, Lazar, Bastian line was that. But also I predicted that, Paul Cotter's not going to – he's there for a good time, but he's not there for a long time because he's too good. And sure enough, he's settled down on the third line for now, and you will see him, play up in the lineup in select scenarios. Markey was perfect tonight. Nothing more to say about it. If he's putting it together, forget about it. The sky's the limit for this team. Yeah. If Markstrom gives us very good to elite goaltending, sky is the limit. Sky is the limit. Markey looked more calm tonight, also playing further out from the net. Yeah, he just looked under control. When the games that he's played bad, he seems visibly shaky, like he's fighting it. He loses track of the puck. Like tonight, he seemed very calm and just dialed in. And loose pucks around the net, he's covering them. Rebounds, it looked like he was seeing pucks off the glass. And that's what you want to see from your goaltender. And hopefully he just continues on this path, going forward on the season, because this team can go far if he's able to play like he did tonight. What a great effort from the boys. Nice to see a full 60 minutes of hockey. I thought they got better as the game went on. Someone wanted Markstrom catapulted to Mars a few days ago. I believe that's one of our resident pessimistic longtime Devils fans, SST. Hollow with a right, left, right, left, right. We seem to have the Canucks number, beating them 8 of the last 9 times on their home ice. Yeah, it is interesting. The level of success the Devils have had against the Canucks recently is a beautiful thing to see. Let Markey cook. Huge confidence builder for him. It should be. And I hope we see him for the next 2 games on the trip. I don't want to see Jake Allen at all. Nothing against Jake Allen, but I've talked about this time and time again on the program. I want to see my top goalie, my ace, my stud netminder. I want him out there as often as possible. And with the way these games fall, there's no reason why he can't play all 3 of the games on this road trip. Love Jack's game tonight. PK taking faceoffs and cycling in the ozone. Feel like Keefe is trying to turn Jack into a more complete player, where Lindy just wanted Jack to play hero hockey. I don't know if Lindy wanted that or if he just allowed it, but I think Jack likes to play hero hockey, obviously. And I do think he will mature and have a more well-rounded overall game under Keefe, because he's going to demand that of him. I mean, obviously no one's expecting Jack to become Nico Hischier, but just become a little bit more like him than he's been in past seasons. Just be a little bit more like Nico. Jack had a great play in that early PK. Hall of Blue Chris. Oh my God, guys, I'm tongue-tied. It's late. Hall of Blue kisses to the crowd when he was in the box. Love it. There's a day off before the Flames game, then 2 days off before the Oilers, so we should get Markey in all 3 games. Yeah, but the way they treat these goalies nowadays, I'm not sure of anything, and I wouldn't be shocked if we see Allen in one of the games. I really wouldn't. I'm going to be mad, but I'm not going to be surprised. They just don't let these guys demand the net. It's a shame. You would never see with the way the games fell on this schedule back in the day, the great Martin Brodeur would have laughed if a coach was like, oh, we're going to sit you this game. He would have been like, haha, what? No, you're not. I'm playing. I felt like this team needed this win. They needed a decisive win like this to build their confidence. I mean, I don't think, obviously it can't be bad for the confidence, right? I hope it doesn't make them overconfident. It may have been, it's hard to say. I think blowout wins are good for your confidence, but sometimes I feel like a 2-1 or 1-0 kind of tightly contested game could be better in terms of just building kind of, war readiness, if you will. But you definitely have to be feeling good after you rout a club 6-0 in their own barn on the first game of a road trip. Jack was really good tonight. He seems like he's getting better as the season goes on. Maybe that injury was still there. Yeah, I've said that forever. And I think, that might be something we're talking about constantly with this guy, but hopefully he can stay healthy, eventually get a little bigger, and just continue to dominate. This game had everything: goals, shutdown hockey, rough and tumble stuff. No matter what you want to see from hockey, the Devils gave it to you tonight. I could not agree more. Beautiful plays, scoring, some hits. Obviously, the old-time fisticuffs, courtesy of Eric Halla. I forget what period it was in. There was a big, actually, I think Dylan went to throw a big hit and he kind of took the worst of it. But there was some monster collisions tonight. Morgan, Nico for Rocket, Hart, Selke, Conn Smythe. That would be quite the trophy haul for one season. And obviously the Stanley Cup. It said we got out hit badly. I don't know what they consider a hit. It didn't seem like that to me. Yeah, I said that. Hits are a subjective stat. You don't know, what whoever the official is scoring this in any given building, what their criteria is. Like I was shocked that we were out hit more than 2-1. It was 20-43. So it's more than 2-1. It didn't seem like that in real time, but again, it could be somewhat legit just because our boys were flying around scoring goals and, they were pinned in their own end a lot trying to hit guys. So it could be true, but it does seem a little excessive. It's 1:47 a.m. and I'm wired after this win. Jason, I could not agree with you more. I am super jacked. Games like this, man. I remember when I was a kid watching these West Coast games and I'd be all fired up and then I'd be tired as shit the next day in school because I would go to bed at like probably 3, 4 a.m. and then wake up at like 7 to go to school. And I'd be like sleeping in math class. And one time I thought I was going to get drug tested. That was like the big thing. If you looked like you were tired in class in high school, there was a couple of teachers that were real gung-ho and being like, are you high? Are you high? Do I have to send you to the nurse? And I'm like, lady, I just watched the Devils beat the Sharks and I went to bed at 4 a.m. and now I'm dying over here. I'm not high. I'm just hockey, West Coast hockey game fatigued. Feels like when Keefe is coaching, there's always one player every year that he coaches that feel like they could score at least one goal a game. Well, it certainly looks like Nico's believing that this year, and he's damn near doing it. Quinn looked crushed playing this game. Any chance he comes over in 2027? Yeah, so I'm obviously super behind in the comments here. I'm trying to catch up. But I have a few friends that are just, they're completely all in convinced that when Quinn Hughes becomes a free agent, he is going to come to the Devils. And like I said, he's the captain there. I could see him kind of wanting to do his own thing. But I only have one brother, but if he was in the league and I had the chance to pick to go play with him, we were playing any sort of sport or anything like that, I certainly would want to do it. And so a lot of these kids are like that. It will be interesting how it plays out. And again, to me, the first kind of domino in this whole thing is what kind of money is Luke Hughes going to want Fitzgerald to give him this summer when he's a restricted free agent? We should take the next 2 games, no McDavid for Edmonton. Yeah. Not having to play McDavid is obviously a huge bonus in our favor. Calgary is no slouch either, so that should be an interesting one. And I'm sure Markstrom's got to play that one. So if they're going to rest him, they're going to rest him against Edmonton. I hope not. Like I said, I want to see him in all the games, but there's no way Markstrom's not going to play against his old club. So hopefully he's fired up for that, and hopefully he plays like he did tonight, and he shuts them out. Imagine back-to-back shutouts. We haven't seen that for the Devils for quite a while. Quinn will be a Canuck for life. I could see it, but I could also not see it. And especially if the Devils are looking like that trajectory is getting to where, we all want it to be with this young core locked up for a while and all these young defensemen and some other forward prospects in the system. The Devils look like they should be a legitimate contender, for the next 4 to 6 years. And if the Canucks kind of take a dip and the Devils look like they really are finally on the come up to where they could be a perennial true contender in the league, that could be the thing that kind of pushes Quinn over the fence. And he's like, you know what? Let me go join my knucklehead brothers in New Jersey and let's win a cup together. I mean, what a story that would be. The boys need to do this for the rest of the Met now. Oh, to the rest of the Met. Yeah, absolutely. We can't afford Quinn. Our defense is already good. They just need to play smarter. We need a forward, though. Someone like Brady. I would love Brady. I would love to get Quinn. But if I'm just kind of making up my own scenario from these comments here. But if I personally was given the option to get Quinn Hughes or Brady Tkachuk, I'm 1,000% taking Brady Tkachuk. I doubt Luke will push for a monster contract. I don't think he can justify it with what the rest of the star players are making, and I think these guys really buy in as a whole. Buying in as a whole and leaving money on the table are two very different things. And I could see him wanting big money. And the comparable on him is going to be the contract that former New Jersey Devil Billy Guerin, current Minnesota Wild GM, just gave Brock Faber 8 years, $68 million. So his cap hits 8.5, and that's almost like a direct comp for Luke. And so if they're using that as the kind of measuring stick, 8.5 might be best case scenario. I'm hoping it's much less, but I don't think it will be because, like I said, that Faber comp is out there. I think there's higher odds of Luke and Jack joining the Canucks than Quinn joining the Devils. Unfortunately, I think you might be right. Hopefully the Devils, continue to improve. And like I said, we become that perennial playoff contender because I do think Jack and Luke will stay here. But if we have a couple bad seasons, I could see them wanting out. I mean, we've seen it in every sport with all kinds of guys. But I do think it would be easier for the Devils to get one guy versus the Canucks to get two. So you'd have to think we're in the driver's seat for that scenario. I think Luke's ceiling is a little higher than Quinn's. No need to have all three on the team. I mean, fair enough. Whoa, Ace. Ended up getting carried away and Ratchet and Clank, but caught the game in third period. We looked toasty and marky first shutout. First of many. Win or lose, we booze. You absolutely know. Win or lose, we booze. David Chimes. More likely Jeremy Brodeur becomes our starter than having all three Hughes brothers. Now, that I have to disagree with. Unfortunately, I think the chance of Jeremy becoming the starter is virtually non-existent. I can't say that about the Hughes brothers just because we have two of three already. So I can't put those at the same. This is the time to go on a run here. The schedule gets super tough after we get back. Yeah, this would be a great trip to start a run. It's about hockey. What's going on, my man? I just got on here. Ace talking about Quinn playing for the Devils. What did I miss? No, it's just I was talking about how a lot of my friends during the game were texting me that, they really hope Luke comes here and believe that he will when he's an unrestricted free agent. And a few people put it in the chat as well. So I'm just kind of thinking out loud about it. I don't think it's likely, but I wouldn't be shocked. Who wouldn't, especially again, if the Devils continue to show that they are for real, who wouldn't want to play with their two brothers? But he is the captain there. And like I said, he maybe want to be on his own and do his own thing and not kind of be with them. I could see, so I know some people that are kind of that way as well. So nothing surprises me, but a couple of my buddies are convinced. If Quinn plays with his brothers, it'll be when he's really old and pretty much done, in my opinion. Dougie's turnovers drive me nuts. Bench Luke, yeah. This chat was such a good streak of no one saying anything stupid, and you got to say something. Devils number one in the NHL off the rush goals. Yeah, that's what you'll get when you have the cast of guys that we have. Nico has just been an absolute monster, flying up the ice with the puck tonight. He's got to work on the turnovers. He's leading the league. Doesn't feel like we're relying on it this year. No, because this year we could get pressure down low, get sustained pressure, work on the walls, get to the front of the net, and score some dirty ones. We're definitely not one-dimensional like we were last year. We can score goals in a lot of different ways. Nico playing like Elias, that is very high praise, and I can't say that you're wrong. Patrick Elias, the best forward in Devils history career-wise, and what a legend. I feel privileged that I was able to watch his whole career. It was truly magical, and it looks like Nico, could have a similar one. I don't know that he's going to, well, hopefully he gets 2 cups, right? I mean, I would love to see Nico win 2 cups. Pesce is ridiculous. He never turns the puck over. Mr. Reliable on the blue line. That's why we paid him the money and why we brought him here. And they paired him with Luke so he could bail him out when he makes some mistakes. I think Big Mac can play forward in D2. I can't see the Devils ever putting McDermott out there as a defenseman. We just have so many great defensemen. There's no way that they put him out there as a D-man. He's basically a limited situation fourth liner or nothing at all, in my opinion. Big Mac versus Garland in March. Oh, my God. Big Mac would kill him. Pesce Luke is quickly becoming my favorite defense combo, quickly recovering from their slow start. I mean, Chico, how slow of a start could they had? I mean, they've only played a few games, but they're going to be very good. They were damn near perfect, I think, against the Ducks. I don't think they allowed a shot against. And again, the best defense is a good offense, and we had the puck in Anaheim's end like the whole game, so that'll make it real easy to not give up a lot of opportunities against when you're just dominating in their end. I'd like to see Dylan sink one in the next few games. I would like to see Dylan sink one, but I'd really like to see him put people through the wall and put them through the glass. That's what Dylan's here for. But I'd like to see him score. He had a laser in one of the preseason games, absolute laser cannon blast from the point. Sure, but his turnovers are always going to be relatively high, just the cost of being a puck carrier. Yeah, exactly. When guys have the puck on their stick that often, and for that amount of time per game, you're gonna get some of the cons that come with it, and turnovers and whatever else is unfortunately going to be a part of that. It's funny the Hughes bros can care less about playing each other. They ask the same stupid questions. Well, that's an indictment on the media. The media, I'll say, it is painful to watch some of the questions. I'm like, oh my God. Some of the questions are so cringe, and I feel bad for them. They're just standing there like, how long do I have to stand here for? I think it's taking every ounce of energy out of them not to like blast them or say something kind of snarky, but their facial expressions say it all. Ladies are a government cover-up. If one talks to you, they're an agent of the state and cease contact immediately. Even Palat got a point. Finally got rewarded. I forgot Siegs almost put one in too. He deserves to get one soon. Yeah, Siegs hit the post with one. That would have been a big one. Greetings from Switzerland. 7 a.m. Let's start working. Beautiful morning like this. Hello, Sevi or Savi. I don't know how you pronounce that. Sevi. But the boys from Switzerland did it big tonight. Did it big. Timo had a goal. The captain, Nico Hischier, with a goal and 2 assists. I mean, what an absolutely beautiful game, especially for your countrymen. The Swiss Devils did it big tonight. Did Timo have any? No, it was just that. Okay. What a performance by the Swiss Devils. $12 goals in 2 games. 2 allowed. Ace, ordering that jersey for you. LO number 9. That was vintage Markstrom. I wish Sherwood would have dropped the gloves with Dylan. He gave him a couple cheap shots while Dylan was down, but cowered when Dylan got up and came at him. Yeah, I thought that was going to be the one we were going to get. And I think that was the big collision I was referring to along the wall earlier on. 3-0-0 versus Western Conference and 3-0-0 versus Canadian teams. Next 2 games versus both sweep the trip, right? That would be the catalyst to hopefully bigger and better things. You can already see how much Curtis McDermott influenced the Devils in fighting. I do think we need him a bit more to fight, to spread it into our team. Not even fighting, just his presence. I do think the guys love him. I think on the bench, he just brings an energy that no one else, he brings an aura that no one else brings. And he obviously could throw hits when he could catch people, selectively catch people and blow them up entirely. And obviously, yeah, the fighting. And, Hall had enough tonight. He was like, you want to see this? We'll do this. And it was a scrap featuring 2 smaller guys, and Hall beat the living shit out of him. They love killing the Devils with penalties. Every time there's a scrum, we got a penalty. Yeah, we somehow always end up shorthanded where it's like the penalties you would think the penalties even out on both sides. We somehow get the short end of the stick every time one of these skirmishes happen. That is very annoying. Any Rick Tocchet team is going to be annoying defensively, and the Canucks are really good on top of that. It's tough to pile up the shots on them. Yeah, we just made the most of it. Scored 6 on 22 shots. John Woodson, if you were here, anything to complain about this one? No, the Doomsdayers don't come out after the wins. I really think that Mercer Shorty was a dagger to their confidence. Nico's goal and then the 4-minute kill set the tone for the rest of the game. Just utter dominance after that game. Awesome to see. The boys deserve this one. It was building after that horrible Tampa game. Yeah, and hopefully this is just the beginning. Obviously, we're not going to win every game 6-0, but they have to be feeling, super. They have to be on a super high after a game like this. The Canucks barn is very lenient on what they consider a hit. A hug counts as a hit there. Canucks D shit the bed tonight. Wasn't expecting that. I feel like we constantly had guys parked out in front with no defender around them. Our guys would just just kept sneaking in behind the defenseman and just setting up camp in front of the net. And you love to see it. Even Jack going to the front of the net tonight. You don't see that too often, but good things happen when you go to the net. Just ask Stefan Nason. He's making a living off of it this season. We smashed a team that some people had as a Stanley Cup contender. Smashed them. We can freaking do this. Let's go Devils. Can we get a coveted third win in a row? It eluded us last year. I'm hoping we get wins 3 in a row and 4 in a row on this road trip and then bring it back home looking to make it 5 in a row. Sabres, Utah, Ottawa aren't making the playoffs. It is way too early to say that. Way too early. Capitals beat MIR the other night. Ottawa is definitely a wild card contender. I agree. Again, they might not make it, but they're going to be in the hunt. Can we get 4 wins? That's the magic number. Sens are only a point out, and Utah is in a playoff spot right now. I know, Chico. Like, aren't some of these statements that people make are hilarious? Capitals are a good team. We have some nice wins now. Utah has no defense. Okay. 56% chance of making playoffs on Money Puck for the Sens. Ron just bringing the heaters right now. McDavid looks awfully Swiss this year. McCheeseburger's out 2 to 3 weeks. Boston isn't doing good. Is going to Leafs and Florida is going to clinch. What's going on, Kobe? I'm still up. Carlos, Nico has taken the next step in his leadership, and this may be the actual beginning of his prime. Well, if it's not, I can't wait to see what his prime is because he looks like a man possessed out there this season. Nico Hischier for everything. Nico for Selke. Nico for Hart. Isles have gotten shut out 4 times this season and has won only 3 times. Yeah, it's crazy. My buddy's an Islander fan, and he's very depressed right now. He periodically texts me stuff about their struggles. Nico, first player to hit 10 goals. Sure, he has a slight head start, but he's all over the ice. Understatement. It was something in the air on top of that mountain. Him and Siegs played a hockey game on. If no one saw that, in the summer, Siegenthaler and Nico played a game in like the Swiss mountains or some shit. I think some people were helicoptered there, and I think maybe some of them took trains there, but it was like a game they played for some, I don't even know what it was, some sort of event in Switzerland. And maybe there was some magic up there. Chico, Ari, Jack finishing with more points than Nico? I think no, but I'm going to call it now. They both finished with 100 plus. If that happens, shit. If they both finish with 100 plus, that would be something. I don't give a about any other maybe playoff teams. We just need to take care of ourselves. I agree, Devin. I'm just entertaining the thoughts and diatribes of some of the people in the chat. Bratt ends the swim with 5 goals, 80 assists. Canucks fans saying if they had Demko, they would have won. I wonder how bad the Caps are going to nosedive once Ovi, if Ovi gets the record, but they did take on the absolute garbage tip of a Dubois contract. He's on a 50-point pace right now, not an $8 million player, but he's been improving. I thought Tatar played a good game. He should have had 2 goals. I think that Nico feels comfortable with the D behind him. He's able to be more offensive. I'm loving Keefe right now, Puck Gobo. I absolutely love Keefe. I would like to see him maybe do a little more disciplinary stuff, but I think he's, easing his way into it. I think he's giving the guys a certain amount of rope before he brings the hammer if he needs to. And so far, I think he's made some great in-game adjustments when necessary. I like the hiring when we made it. And I think he is going to bring these boys to places they haven't seen before, which would technically be the Eastern Conference Finals or further. Keefe was the perfect hire for this team right now. It could be. Markey is one of those mental goalies. When he's on, he's unbeatable. But if he's having doubts, then not good. A lot of people have said that. I think a lot of Calgary fans were like, when Markey's on, he's great, but he's inconsistent. Hopefully he could get that figured out. Keefe, big reason Nico is going off, in my opinion. Every time Jack Allen plays the puck, it's an adventure. Sometimes I get palpitations when Markstrom comes out of the net and plays the puck. I'm like, whoa, easy, fellas. You're not the great Martin Brodeur. Get the hell back in the net. I don't know what you guys think you're doing, but you're scaring us out here. I remember when the Sedin brothers and Naslin would kick our ass. I remember when Todd Bertuzzi was on the Canucks. Whew, they had some teams. Jack's let a couple of turnovers even tonight, but he did have a good defensive game also to kind of make up for it. Thoughts on Dylan? I love Dylan. Heavier, edgier, more violent. A lot of nights, I think his play is going to go largely unnoticed. And I think if that's the case, then he probably had a decent game. As long as he's not on the other team's highlight reel, he's gonna pressure guys. He's gonna hammer guys when he can. And I think he's in the top few in the league right now in hits, which is exactly what he's been doing every year he's been in the league since he's been in the league. So I'm definitely a Dylan guy, and he's obviously fiery. You saw him trying to fight somebody where the refs got in there and it was nonsense. But I think he's definitely going to be, one of those veteran voices, kind of leaders in the room and off the ice. He is a vet. He's been around for a while. He wants to win, and I think he's going to hold guys accountable. Laying hits, dropping mitts. Time for bed. Catch all Friday. Let's go Devils. Have a good night, or I guess a good morning, whatever you want to call this here. Walt, Nico having this much scoring success creates more scoring opportunities for everyone else's opponents. Now have to worry about Nico's shot and not know who to prioritize defending against. Yeah, Nico's now just not distributor. He's sniping his own goals. Makes the power play more dangerous. Keefe took Austin Matthews, elite sniper, and turned him into a legitimate Selke candidate. I think he get the most out of Jack Hughes. We're going to see. Husky Unchained. I love this team right now. Nico for Prez. Tickle that like for Ace. Let's go Devils. Thank you, Husky Unchained. Yeah, hit the like, guys. Don't be stingy. Hit the like. Thank you. The hockey guy put a WTF magnet up for this game. Love it. Oh, man, my friend used to play video games all night and would crash in first period, and he got sent to be draw. Oh, that's yeah, the teachers were really gung-ho on cat. They thought it was like, it was like that time in the early 2000s where they thought like, weed, the gateway drug, it's killing everybody. And like, I didn't even smoke weed in high school at all, ever. And then they wanted to like drug test kids. I was like, yeah, I'll piss in the cup. And when it comes back crystal clean, I'm going to berate you and potentially sue you. You kidding me? Teachers were allowed to drug test you? No. So the teachers couldn't, but they could use like, I don't know all the legalities of it because it never happened to me. They just threatened it a couple times when these things would happen. But there was kids that the teachers would be like, oh, so-and-so looked sleepy in class and his head kept going down. So then they would send him to the nurse. And then the nurse could use some kind of bullshit, I think, if she wanted to legally be able to drug test you kind of under, I don't know if it's exactly verbatim, so don't quote me on this, but I think it was basically under like something similar to like probable cause for police. Yeah, it was wild. Yeah, Ron, exactly. Not teachers. They send you the nurse. I used to go to school blitzed all the time. Best part is if you refuse, it's considered a positive and they send you to drug counseling. What school did you guys go to? Public school in northern New Jersey. I went to a school in Sussex County. I was in Essex County. Goalie tandem, cute. Even when Swayman and Olmark used to hug after games. In the NFL, the top QBs never let the backups in for even plays. Yeah, and I wish it was more like that. I went to Catholic school and they didn't do that stuff. Chico, that's because your parents paid money and they weren't looking to interfere with their business. Did they ask you if you were high in front of the whole class? I don't think that happened to me, but I had friends that like a teacher said it. I don't think they actually maybe used the word high. They were like, is there something wrong with you? Did you take something? Like heavily inferring that you were high. But I don't know if most of the time they wouldn't say, are you high? True, but a QB barely plays compared to a goalie. I mean, yeah, but now Ron, you're getting into the weeds here. I just think the point is, a prominent position in another sport is not relinquishing, playing time to the backup. Flames lost 4 straight now. They may be feisty. Is this real with the school? I would have taken a shit. My high school's nickname was... Oh, man. Mine definitely was a borderline. Also, they'd be like, why are you sleeping in class? Are you inebriated right now? I'm going to send you to the nurse with the one security guy. Yeah. They used to lock the bathrooms up after homeroom and only leave one open because there was always people drinking, smoking, doing coke, etc. there in the morning. Late 80s, early 90s were something. Luke's contract, he's going to get paid, but I would consider like $8 million per to be reasonable. When I hear monster contract, I think like 8 times $12 million per. Oh, no, $12 million. He's not getting that. But I fear that he's going to want like something crazy like 10 or 10 and a half. I mean, listen, Rasmus Dahlin's getting paid $11 million a year. So nothing would surprise me. They would just tell you to go home. Now it's not going to happen, Ace. Would be nice, but I shouldn't have said it. Saying shutout usually ends up backfiring. I think someone was talking about it in the chat briefly before, like in the mid-third period, and I was like, what are you guys doing? Don't you know how this works? You don't talk about this. Win or lose, we booze needs to be on a t-shirt ASAP. It's interesting. The merch stuff is, it costs a lot of money to do it properly, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. Maybe I'll do a special run of something like that, which, by the way, heavier, edgier, more violent. There's still some t-shirts left. I don't expect them to last that much longer. I do believe a lot of you fair weathers, lost the excitement for this team when they went on the 4-game losing streak. But I believe, in the next couple weeks or so, maybe even week, as a team continues to win, people are going to get excited about the heavier, edgier, more violent, and the t-shirts will be gone. So those are still available for a limited time. There's not too many per size left. If anyone is interested in joining the heavier, edgier, more violent club. Hi, Ace. I crashed after period 2, but Eric Hall being a diva rocked. No doomers today. Much needed market shutout. Plot looked awesome. This game rocked. Yeah, it was a beautiful game where just so many things that you wanted to see happen. We saw fisticuffs. We saw a ton of different guys score. There was a little bit of everything. Hamilton contract expires and Quinn signs. Here's to hoping. Like I said, I would love to see him here, but if I'm being honest, I would prefer a dangerous, big, strong winger for Jack. I would prefer over that. I'm hyped for the vid tomorrow. Boys ate tonight. Yes, they did. They were eating all night long. Domination. Patrick Elias belongs in the Hall of Fame. I will die on that hill. I agree with you. For sure. I mean, Patty's been to the mountaintop twice. 1/3 of one of the most dominant lines in the NHL for the time they were together. Obviously, the A line, another just absolute big time, big game player. And Patty, it just sucks that he couldn't just pad his numbers a little bit more over the course of his career. Yeah, 408 goals. I mean, 1,000 points. He has 1,240 games played and 10,025 points. Like with 2 cups, I think you got to get in the Hall for that, in my opinion. If Bratt and Jack play to their full potential, it would be absolutely deadly. I mean, they're both quietly having great starts. I mean, or maybe not great, but Jack is almost a point a game. He has 12 because the goals aren't coming the way we're used to seeing them, thus far, or like they were a couple seasons ago or even last year. But he has 12 points in 13 games, and Bratt I think has where my screen just went crazy here. Yeah, and Bratt has 13 points. Bratt is at a point a game. So they're not having the most flashy seasons, but they're pretty solid thus far. Nice to see that Harris and Blitzer own 2 NHL franchises now. Good to expand. Wait, what is that in reference to? Riot and respect. I'm not sure what that's in reference to. First thing I do every morning is get up and load both McDermott fights in that amazing hit that took the guy's helmet to Mars. Yeah, Romanov, he got the helmet popper special. He just absolutely drilled him. Beautiful. Love to see it. Richard, truth, I'd like to see more of this kind of game at home. Yeah, absolutely. They have to figure out why is it that it is a completely different team when we're playing on the Prudential Center ice. I don't know. They need to figure it out, though, because they need to, figure out how to win at home, obviously. And that's going to be very important come the playoffs as well. Protect home ice. You can't just be a solid road team. You have to win at home. It's the multi-million-dollar question. Why are they bad at home? The second half of November is going to be a huge test. Florida 2 times, Tampa, Carolina again, St. Louis, and Washington 2 times. Yeah. And hopefully we're, fixing all the little kinks and working it all out right now, and we come into that second half of November looking like a buzzsaw. Just taking teams out. It feels like a defensive concept coming together. The PK tonight was awesome. Still need to finish checks. Yeah. I agree, but, they limited the Canucks' chances. They did get off a couple really good grade A's, but for the most part, they were just kind of low percentage shots from the perimeter and not really anything dangerous. Like I said, they did get a few good ones in there, but overall, I thought the defense played pretty good tonight. Jeff, what's good, real ones? Oh, this is the realest ones. Shout out to everyone on the East Coast at 2:39 a.m. If any of you are in high school and your teacher asks you if you're high tomorrow, just tell them you're high on New Jersey Devils hockey. Keith using discipline, I'd like to see more too, but I think it's tough from his point of view as a new coach with this team less than 20 games. Yeah, I think so as well. He's just trying to give them a fair, amount of time to fully do what he's asking, execute the game plan, and at some point, maybe in another few weeks, a month, whatever it is, he's going to be like, all right, well, we talked about this. I need you to do X, Y, Z. It's not happening. So you go to the press box and you go to the press box. But hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully everyone executes, does their job, and we just continue to start smoking teams. I rarely notice Dylan, and that's a good thing. No complaints. He's been very solid, and that's all you can ask for from that player. Yeah, I agree. Like I said, if you're not, on a given night, if you don't recall anything from him, then that's probably a good thing, that he's just being solid, not, racking up minuses while the other team scores and not on the other team's highlight video. You would like to see some hits from him, though. I do like to see that. Puck Obo, I feel so tempted to get a Nason jersey. I can't say that that's a bad one. I mean, that's a great jersey to get. He has just been what an acquisition and a long line of them by Fitz. And shout out to Stefan Nason. Whatever the hell's in the water in Carolina that Brindamore's got these guys playing like the machines that they have been for years. Stefan Nason, I liked him in his first stint with the Devils, but he went to Carolina, played under Brindamore, and he came back like a completely different guy. He is just so much better than he was the first time around. And I have to give that credit to Rod Brindamore and the Carolina Hurricanes franchise. They've been a successful franchise for a long time now. Dylan Sleeper, 6 different goal scorers tonight. Love to see it. Damn, glad I joined the convo now to talk about blazing at school. Would smoke 2 joints with my buddy on the way to school, then use tangerines to wash our hands and get the smell off. The tricks of the trade from young high schoolers. Dougie blows my mind sometimes when Dylan goes back to the puck. Dougie bunches up next to him. Tangerines, got to use that Visine. I know a lot of kids that had the either the Visine or the Clear Eyes. They had the drops on them constantly. What a great game. Can confirm, fellas, it's a great shirt. Thank you for that, Ron. Okay, got to bail. I'm at work, but at least our Devils put me a good mood to make my shift easier. Let's go, Devils. Enjoy that, Ron. Take care. Also, Ace, thank you for helping me out with my shirt delivery shenanigans. My USPS driver has it out for me clearly. Yeah, that was I'm glad you found it. And I'm glad I'm not the only one that has mail carriers that put things in random random spots. It is annoying. Happy Halloween. Oh yeah, it is Halloween. Jay Snow, I was referring to in high school. In high school, I did not. Now let's string a few wins in a row. Absolutely. I go to the University of Florida, and last night I saw 2 people wearing Devils jerseys as their costume. That is interesting. University of Florida, home of Tim Tebow. You go to UF, lucky bastard, the weather and the females. Yeah, I've seen a lot of photos from UF games and different things, and I'm like, sheesh. I mean, we had some nice ones at Rutgers, but not like they have at Florida or Florida State or Arizona State. Oh my God, Arizona State, a lot of talent in Arizona State. I went to high school in NY. They were freaking morons. Yeah, there's idiots everywhere. They own the Canucks. I got you, Riot. I'm a little slow, man. It's late. Thank you, Richard. It's a little late, guys. I'm trying to just. Canucks definitely owe the Devils a Father's Day gift after that spanking. I'm from the Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood area, and there are mostly NY transplants, but there are quite a few NJ transplants. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of tri-state area people in Florida. Every time I visited there, I feel like I've always met someone from the area. Fort Lauderdale is mad nice. I hate NY weather. I hate NY weather too. I hate our winters. And yeah, it was like hot as shit today. I think it was like 80 degrees. I have to check the weather now. I was like about to get dressed, and I'm like, yo, I'm wearing shorts again. I love wearing shorts. So I was like, no problem. I think it's going to be hot again tomorrow or today, I guess. It's already the next day. They have to prove they can defend against a heavy forecheck. Yeah, John, I mentioned that earlier. When teams want to run and gun with us, that falls right into our hands. We'll gladly run and gun with teams all day long. I want to see how they respond when they do play one of those heavy forecheck teams if we continue to get just smashed and kind of our will broken, because that's what it seemed like so far. I think eventually they're going to figure out how to counterattack against those teams, but give me more teams that want to run and gun. This team will do it all day long. 100% agree on Rod Ace. For me, Rod Brindamore is the best coach in NHL these last couple of years. I mean, if not the best, he's one of the best. I don't see how anyone could, argue that point. I mean, just look at the, regular season and the playoffs that his team has had. Obviously, a lot of Canes fans, I'm sure, are disappointed that they haven't been able to get that cup recently. But I'd take Sam Bennett. He's a free agent next year. Super gritty and can score. I always thought Bennett is that type of player, is a guy the Devils could have. But now I'm not as gung-ho on it just because we do have Nason and Cotter. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd love to add another one, but we do have some sandpaper, and it's showing throughout the games. It's just a much tougher team than last year. Heavier, edgier, more violent, way bigger and nastier than last season. They always struggle with Carolina. Yeah, they've owned us for a while, and I've hated Carolina for a while. I told you guys on a previous stream, I've hated Carolina since they took us out in the first round in 2002 Eastern Conference quarterfinals. In the first round, Kevin Weeks came in after Arturs Urbe struggled, and they absolutely handed us our ass. And then the 2009 Game 7 at home, epic collapse for the Devils at Prudential Center, cemented my hatred of them. I've never been part of, or not been part of, but witnessed firsthand at live such a shocking loss the way it happened. It was just a complete meltdown, and it was terrible. They give the Devils fits, absolutely. I love the cold weather. I'd move to Alaska if I didn't have family here in NJ. Really? Also, if I can survive without Taylor ham and good pizza. I mean, Ron, the reality is New Jersey has, New Jersey, New York area, whatever you want to call it, has basically the best of every food. I mean, we have the best Italian food, the best bagels, the best pizza, the best Asian food. Obviously, Taylor ham. There's great, steak houses. Whatever it is that you're into, New Jersey definitely has top-notch all of it. So the food, I remember even when I would go visit friends in different colleges, I remember being like, yo, what are we going to eat? Because I know your food sucks. We're spoiled, and I'm spoiled growing up, where I did. The best teams can beat a team in any fashion presented to them. Offensive shootout type of game, defensive standstill, or goalie duel. Tampa perfected that during 20 and 21. Yeah, and hopefully this Devils team, they've pretty much, maybe not perfected, but they are very, very good at beating teams that want to play the what I call it, like the 90s West Coast hockey. Like, let's just fly up and down the ice and trade chances. The forechecking, really physically demanding games is where I really want to see the team improve, because it's proven so far this year and in years past that the teams that really want to just grind us down, they can break our will and beat us, and they have to find a way to be able to respond to that. I feel you. I got 1 hour of sleep last night and went to work today, came home and took a nap to be up for the game, and now I guess I should try and sleep again. Yeah, it's probably what humans would do, right, in respect. You couldn't pay me to live in Alaska. I do think I'd like to visit there one day. I saw a 10:30 game and knew it would be a struggle. I miss the seasons, bagels, and pizza. I honestly don't think I would miss the seasons. I would be perfectly content permanently living in shorts and a t-shirt, if I'm being honest. I wouldn't, I'd be pretty happy to never have to wear a winter jacket again. But with that being said, I'm a food guy, obviously, and I would miss pizza, bagels, all kinds of stuff. Quality pasta. I've heard NJ does pizza better than NY, but NY has more fame for pizzas. I think the New York, as pointed out by Douglas D. Admin, I believe, in one of those funny videos the Devils had him do, I believe was it the New York Post or was it the New York Times? I think they rated the best New York pizza. They gave it to this place, Raza, in Jersey City. Rod, PDB, Bruce Cassidy, John Cooper, and Brunette are probably my top 5 active best NHL coaches. Keith is going to work his way in there soon if he keeps this up, though, I'd imagine. I do remember having wings with mac and buffalo sauce in North Bergen and NJ, and oh my gosh, it was beautiful. I'm biased, but I have to agree with that Puck Gobo. Pretty nice turnout for this evening. I'd like to thank you all. Yeah, I'm stunned. I guess there's more people out of the time zone than I thought. I thought there was going to be like 10 people on here, to be honest. I came in, what was it, 130, 140? No, a very pleasant surprise, and shout out to Cheers. Cheers to all you that came out tonight. I appreciate this. I look forward to this after every game. It's always fun for me. And I look forward to it even more when it's a victory beer, not a sorrow beer, because when the Devils win, it's just my mood is just so much better. Chico at Puckobo, NJ is the real pizza capital of the world. I mean, if it's not the pizza capital, it's definitely one of them. It's up there. That's what I thought too, Ace, but the passage of time is so warped and the weather never changes. I think I'd live with it, Jeff. I'd be honest. I like warm weather. I'm a summer guy. The summer is definitely my favorite season. I hate sweating and stuff, like just being hot constantly, but I'll take it. I just love, everything about it. I love going to the beach. I love doing all the outdoor activities. I love seeing the outfits the women's wear. I just enjoy everything that comes, nice fruity beverage at a restaurant outside. I just love everything summer. It's just, the flowers look better. Everything just looks better in the summer. I'm just a summer guy. And when I was a kid, most of my great times came in the summer, obviously. You're not at school and you're doing shenanigans and doing whatever else. And so I will forever be a summer guy. But I obviously love the fall and winter too because it's hockey season. But in a vacuum, my favorite season is definitely summer. Pizza Mecca. Hey, Carolina. How do you recommend for a foreigner's first Taylor ham, straight up, or should I ask for anything in particular with it? Yeah, I mean, so my recommendation would be that number one, you make sure you go to a quality place. Again, I will always die on the hill of a mediocre Taylor ham sandwich or Taylor ham, egg, and cheese is better than a non-existent one. But if you are in New Jersey, you should do your due diligence. Make sure you're going to a quality spot. And then I would tell you to get a Taylor ham, egg, and cheese, SPK, salt, pepper, ketchup on either a roll or an everything toasted bagel. Both delicious. Kind of just depends what what your style is. I switch it up. I usually, if I get it from the bagel spot, I usually go with the everything bagel, as I just mentioned. But if I get it at a diner, I'll usually get it on a roll. I like to switch it up, but they're both delicious. That reminds me of a place near Rutgers called Stuff Your Face that made major stoner food. Oh, man. Easton Avenue. Salute to Stuff Your Face. I went to Rutgers and lived a couple blocks from there, and Stuff Your Face. A lot of late night visits to Stuff Your Face. And did we ever stuff our faces? Man, Easton Avenue, New Brunswick. Shout out to New Bruns. They had a lot of good food spots. And obviously the grease trucks, the RU grease trucks with the fat sandwiches. Oh my God. Oh my God. I would kill for a fat sandwich right now. Yeah, but Carolina can never get over the hump. I think eventually they will, but it's a fair point. But when you consistently have good seasons and make the playoffs, I think you'd rather that than nothing, or just be a team that doesn't make the playoffs. Like, the Ottawa Senators fan base or Buffalo, they would kill to have the past, however many years you want to go back that Carolina had. My brother moved out to Florida, and every time I visit, I always notice the food kind of sucks. The water is definitely different down there, and it's noticeable. Absolutely. There's no comparison. And I've heard from tons of people the water is what makes the difference in the pizza and the bagels, but there's no comparison. Even if you tell me this is the best place in Florida, it's nowhere near even a middle of the road type of place in New York or New Jersey. Chico, I'm on East Coast, lifelong night owl though. Me too. I've always been a night owl, even when I was a kid. It's always, and I'm glad you're enjoying streaming too. Taylor ham, egg, and cheese, salt, pepper, ketchup on an everything bagel. And Ron, that is one of the correct answers. Absolutely one of the correct answers. Bennett Place Center, the Devils need help down the middle. I mean, do they really need help? I mean, you could always, I think most teams could be like, oh, if I could upgrade one of these centers, that would be nice. But I don't know that it's jumping off the page to me like we must get another centerman. And if we do get a centerman, I want a real big beefy guy, to be honest. We talked about this on one of the streams recently as well. Talked about how I love the Jason Arnott mold. Yeah, Bennett's not a small guy. He's not huge, but he's 6'1", 193. Yeah, he's going to be pricey. He would be very, very pricey. Yeah, I can't. Wait, did he just sign someone? I'm up. I don't know why someone mentioned getting him. I don't even know if that's realistic. Yeah, he's going to get crazy money after this season. Oh, yeah. If I lived in Florida, I'd be super tan. For sure. Oh, man, you talking Taylor Ham's got me hungry now. I wonder how many females are actually in this chat. Probably none anymore. There was a few before. Yeah, the food sucks here in Florida for the most part. Absolutely. I was lazy and a commuter, so I rarely left the Bush campus. But if I did, I'd load up at Stuff Your Face. Oh, man. Bush campus. I used to take the bus there from College Ave. There's no sunlight for a month in Alaska. That would depress the ever-loving shit out of me. And that's my biggest thing in the winters. I hate when it gets dark at like 4:30, 5 o'clock. Oh, man, it's depression for me. I hate that. There's nothing I hate more. I wish they got rid of the whole turning back the clock thing. I've heard rumors that they were trying to get rid of it, but I don't know if they ever will. Carolina never getting over the hump. Put that mainly on them really cheaping out in terms of goaltending. Like for how good they are, how many Vezina candidates have they had lately? I mean, but how many Vezina candidates have a lot of teams had? You know, there's tons of teams that haven't had a Vezina candidate goalie. You can't win without a goalie. I'm going to say I wouldn't want to be a team that's trying to win without a goalie, but teams have won with what people would say on paper was mediocre goaltending. Yeah, well, Carolina's super analytical. They don't prioritize the goalie. And I think that's another good point, Jay Snow, that kind of comes out of the, analysis paralysis, analytical world that the NHL is currently living in, is that they see the goalie as kind of like not a main component, and that you could kind of do patchwork moves and still win with, not a big name goalie, quote unquote. How is Newark seen by other people in Jay? Because I've always been told to avoid it outright unless you're in the Ironbound. My friend from South NJ said for me to go explore the real NJ. I mean, it's not a great place. I guess there's decent parts of it. But if it wasn't for the Devils, I would probably never step foot in Newark, or very, very, very rarely. There are some decent restaurants there, but there's a ton of great restaurants in New Jersey elsewhere. So for me to really go to Newark, outside of the Devils, or occasionally there's an act of some kind that I want to see at the NJ Pack, which is a small venue a couple blocks up the road from where the Prudential Center is. I've been to a bunch of shows there, but outside of that, I have no business going to Newark for pretty much anything. Clomp Sauce, the final was New Jersey Devils 6, the Vancouver Canucks 0. Ownership is kind of cheap over there too, though. Analytics can recommend the best guy, but if the owner won't pay him, you're not getting him. It has bad neighborhoods, but the main streets are fine. Newark's rough. Be careful. There's just a lot more interesting places than Newark and NJ, though. I wouldn't say Newark's even an interesting place. If you were coming to New Jersey, I would tell you, I guess it depends where your home base was in New Jersey, but I would definitely recommend to go to one of the shore towns. I would recommend for you to probably check out Hoboken, Weehawken area. Sunlight in Scotland is considered a conspiracy theory. Loved going to the Jersey Shore. Look what the Avs did. I'd love to go to Sweden, gorgeous country, and tons of blondes. Nice W. My wings were crushed by the Jets. Oof. Check out Smithville. I'm trying to see. Yeah, but if I was talking to someone who's going to visit New Jersey, Newark wouldn't appear on my top probably 40 things to do or see in New Jersey. I hate being in that spot, good enough to make the playoffs, but never good enough to win it all. I mean, listen, there's a lot of teams that are in that position. Hopefully, we are a team in a position to go on a real run this year, and we get these little kinks worked out. Go to the Shore, go check out Hoboken or JC. Near Hoboken, go check out the Delaware. Those are solid recommendations. What do we need to work on from what you saw tonight? Just saying. It's hard for me to find a bad word about anything after tonight. Strictly based on tonight, nothing. It would just be consistency. Can we play like this every game? Can Markstrom be on top or close to the top of his game every game? Many teams have lived and died there, Jay Snow. Exactly. I mean, only one team can win every year. There's tons of teams that just could never get over the hump for whatever reason in the history of every sport. Teams that were good to great teams every year consistently made the playoffs, and they just couldn't get it done. Yes, Jack could move to the wing, but he's bad in the dot. I don't think they'll do it, but I always, a lot of people talk about it, and I don't know. No one wants to be the next Minnesota Wild. It feels like NJ Jets and Sabres will never make the playoffs again. That could be the case. Oh, and Patterson Falls is pretty cool, but that's also a rough area too. Patterson Falls. Wow, 2:59 a.m. You guys are savages. How many of you guys are on Eastern Standard Time? Who's on that Eastern Standard Time? You can't really analyze either side of this game for any real value, in my opinion. It's a burn the tape game for Vancouver and a near perfect game on our end. Replay it 100 times and you get different results. Hit the boardwalks, all gravy. Oh, I would also recommend, if depending again how long you're in New Jersey for, I am a big fan of Atlantic City just because I like gambling, I like food, I like entertainment. They have a lot of that, and they also have the beach there. So Atlantic City is kind of a favorite spot of mine, even though I haven't gotten down there nearly as often as I would like to in recent years. It's 7 a.m. here. Wow. Me, I should have gone to bed a long time ago. Yeah, I think that's all of us. Oh, John, you're crazy as well. Jersey Roots, 3 a.m. You're nuts, just like me. Monmouth County here. Very nice. Love Monmouth County. My Yankees lost, but my Devils won. I'm not a baseball guy. When people start talking about baseball, I go, but I did see that they blew a 5-run lead at home, and a lot of my friends are big into the Yankees, and so they're pretty upset right now. I feel like the Stars got unlucky playing the Knights, then Stars in rounds 1 and 2. Sometimes teams get unlucky with the timing of matchups. Yeah. The Devils, ask the Toronto Maple Leafs of the, late 90s, early 2000s. They had a very good team, and they just kept running into Martin Brodeur and the New Jersey Devils. And so they were never able to get over the hump either because the Devils owned them. AC is great. The boardwalk is rough at night. A lot of hustlers. Some dude ran a scheme where he had his girl flash her and demand payment. That's bizarre. But yeah, I know the boardwalk at night is sketch as it gets. 90s Bills and early 2010 Sharks are examples of teams who should have won in 90% of other scenarios. Mm-hmm. Yankees really blow. 3 a.m. I'm at work. 3 a.m. Lee County, Florida. Anyone been to Hoagie Haven in Princeton? I have not, but Princeton's a cool little downtown area there as well. The food is worth going through the psychological horrors of EWR for. EWR being the airport code for Newark Airport. What a disgrace. They are winning one game. What was the final of the Yankee game? 7-6. Did we blow a late lead? I didn't watch. They were up 5-0 mid-game, and then I don't know, they had a bad inning and just melted down. And the Los Angeles Dodgers are the World Series champs. Man, LA they won not too long ago, right? Didn't they win 4 years ago? They've won so much shit. I feel like so has Boston, really. I feel like Boston in the past 20 years, I mean, what, they won 7 Super Bowls and 3 or 4 World Series and a couple cups and a couple NBA championships for the Celtics. I mean, wow. Boston has had quite a run. Also, Ocean City Boardwalk is dry. It's a trap. Yeah, I know Ocean City's a dry town. I always thought that was so antiquated. A dry town. What is the point of that? When I hear dry town, I'm I'm not interested. Not that I need to drink, but I feel like if you go out of your way to make sure there's no alcohol in the town, that's a very stuffy environment that your boy Ace wants no part of. Absolutely no part of. They'll force you to drink soda pops, not any booze. Can Nico win the Hart and Selke? It's going to be hard for him to win the Hart, because there's going to be guys in this league with, at the end of the season, 120, 130 points. And unless Nico's in that, I mean, I would love to see Nico have 120 points, but I think that's asking a whole lot. And so I think it'll be hard for him to win the Hart, but with solid offensive numbers, I do believe he will definitely be nominated for the Selke, and it could be the year he wins it. But the Hart, they're just going to go at the points, right? And obviously McDavid being out for, I think I saw a few weeks, that's really going to impact his total. Let's just see what the league. Oh my God. Cale Makar leads the whole league with 19 points right now as a defenseman. Holy shit. That's wild. Cale Makar is so damn good. It's crazy. Boo. What a nightmare. They really blow. The place is so bizarre. My friend's family has a house on the beach, and the whole place has the vibes of being in a 60s sitcom, but you're the only one that knows it's in a sitcom. Yeah, but they have great shrooms. That I cannot confirm, but I'll take your word for it. Off topic, what's everyone's favorite shore point? Ooh, that's a good question. Jeff, I'm going to need to know some more information. I can't give a blanket answer, so I'm going to ask you a couple questions here, Jeff. What's my favorite shore point for what? So I guess my favorite shore point is like if I'm going to the beach for the day with my mother, a night with the boys, a weekend with the boys, a day trip or overnight trip with my little nephews. There's different, different spots satisfy different needs. So it's hard for me to give a blanket answer to a question like that. I'm curious to see what, in what capacity you're referring to, because I do have weekend with the boys. It's always going to be AC. There's just no comparison. Now, maybe it's unfair to include AC in there because of, the fact that they have a casino and no one else does. So that automatically gets them the win. So I guess if I'm removing that and I had to pick a weekend with the boys, probably, dude, I'm old, man. Like I'm now like, going back in time. Like there hasn't been a weekend with the boys at the shore for a while. I mean, I went to my buddy's family shore house last summer one night, and I kind of, his wife doesn't let him out of the house much, so I had to, like, in a joking manner, berate her that she doesn't let him do anything, because I'm friends with her too, and I've been friends with her for years since they started dating. So, like, she takes my abuse, and so I had to, like, jokingly make fun of her for her to allow my buddy, her husband, to go out. But his family shore house is in Point. Shout out to my man Mikey Bose. We stayed at his family shore house in Point Pleasant, and we walked to Jenkinson's Pavilion. I think when we left, it was light. We may have went there when it was light out and came back when it was light out. I think we went around dinner time. We had a few of those killer fresh squeezed lemonades with the vodka. Delicious. Or was it the fresh orange? Was it orange juice or lemonade? I forget. It was fresh squeezed something with a shitload of vodka. It was a good time. If AC is out, probably Asbury Park for me. Catch some great shows. Yeah, Asbury Park's obviously it's gotten a lot more developed and has more attractions over the years. I'm assuming, Ron, you're talking about like the Stone Pony. I don't think there's been anything really that I'm into that goes there. Yeah, there it is, Stone Pony. You know what's up. Do any of your childhood friends know or watch your channel? Some of them, a few of them know about the channel. One of them is a Devils fan, but he moved to Boston and years ago and kind of became like a Bruins fan. It's a little disappointing. I think he like still roots the Devils a little bit, but he's almost like a Boston native now. So he might periodically watch stuff. He doesn't like watch it religiously because he's, he has multiple kids and, he's not into it like that anymore. But I think he periodically watches some of the videos. Asbury Lanes is a great punk venue, too. I've never been there. I used to bounce at Jenks. Oh, boy, Jersey Roots. You probably got stories for days. I've seen some wild, wild shit go down at Jenks. No shit, that's awesome. Most of the Southern Shore points are Flyers country. Bar A. Always love Bar A. Always love Bar A in Belmar. I had a house in Belmar one summer with a bunch of people. It was a very interesting summer, to say the least. You'll find a ton of off-brand Flyers merch on the boardwalk, but no Devil stuff. Changing teams, nah, that's illegal. Yeah, he did it. I mean, don't remind me, John. Have you known anyone who's done an outrageous team change? Yeah, my buddy. Although, no, I think he would blatantly say it now. He's been living in Boston for like probably at least 12 years, I would say. So like he's almost over time, he's almost morphed. He's almost morphed into like a Massachusetts native. Like if I didn't know any better, I'd be like, "God, did you grow up around here?" And we went to high school together. And he's basically morphed into a Boston guy. It's a little disheartening, but it is what it is. My buddy lost his eye at Jenks. Holy shit. I guess I'm not surprised. People First Yukon. Hi. Hello. It happens. All right. Let me see. Is there anything else? I got to watch. I saw Keefe's interview. Yeah, he was in a very good mood. I mean, why wouldn't he be, right? The New Jersey Devils put the smack down of a lifetime on the Canucks and won 6-0. I mean, what's their, everything should be peaches and cream at that point, right? I mean, wow. What a beautiful outing for his New Jersey Devils. All right. It's super late. I have to record the morning video soon. So I'm gonna this is almost like tradition now. I'm gonna go take a leak. I'm gonna wash my hands as I always do. Some of you people like to troll me about that, but I'm gonna take a leak. I'm going to wash my hands, and then I'll stay on here for like another 5-10 minutes or so, wrapping up here. If anyone has any interesting questions, statements, whatever it is, throw it out there. Obviously, these lives pretty much always go into, I've seen people advertise like ask me anything, but like I feel like that's like I feel like I live in that realm. Like it's always kind of that time. But I'm gonna take a leak. I'll be back in maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes max. Yeah, any random questions, any random thoughts, throw it out there in the chat. I'll be back, like I said, in a minute and a half or 2 minutes. And yeah, we'll wrap up in the next 5-10 minutes or so, depending on what you guys throw out there. I'll be right back. Cheers to all you, man. It's awesome that we had, at one point, I think there was 90 or 100 people in here for a live that started 1:45 after a New Jersey Devils West Coast road trip game. Love to see it. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. All right, are soft spots for another team a bad thing to have, or a second team? I think claiming a second team, I think is a no-no. In terms of having a soft spot, I mean, I guess I always default to, it always ties back to the Devils in some way. So when the playoffs come around, if the Devils aren't in it or when they're knocked out, I always usually root for a team that has some sort of tie to the Devils. There's usually always one. So like last year, I was rooting for the Oilers because I wanted to see Adam Henrique win a cup. I thought, he was a great soldier for the Devils. He gave us one of the greatest nights in franchise history. Henrique, it's over. So I obviously wanted him to win a cup, so I was rooting for them. or ties. So like if somehow the Wild were ever good and there was no prominent Devils guys that I like still in the playoffs, I would root for the Wild because I love Billy Guerin. He was a great soldier for the Devils, 1995 Stanley Cup champion. And so I would like to see him win a cup as an executive. The same thing, Jamie Langenbrunner's the assistant GM of the Bruins. And while I don't really like Boston sports fans, if there was no other people that would take precedent over that, most likely a former Devils player playing in the playoffs, I would probably root for the Bruins because, Jamie Langenbrunner. So, it always ties back to the Devils in some way. Nearly everyone I meet has Vancouver as their second team. That's interesting. It's probably the Hughes brothers connection. I mean, that's the logical, situation there. The Devils harvested the power of Halloween to bop them. It's safe to have a second and third favorite team. Just never betray the Devils. Always wash my hands, Ron. Don. All right. As long as we're talking about favorite sketch places in NJ, what's your favorite gentleman's club? So that's a funny question. I'll be honest, Ron. I don't go to gentlemen's clubs. I've obviously been there, and almost every single time I went was either for a bachelor party where I didn't want to like bail on the bachelor party, although I have done that before too. I did a shady dip in Atlantic City. We were at the casino, and then we were in some clubs and we were drinking, and a bunch of people. We took one of the shuttle vans to the local gentlemen's club there, and I was at the back of the line. And as soon as everyone went in, I just did a shady dip. I grabbed the cab and got the hell out of there, and I think I went and played poker. I don't like them. There's a lot of things I don't like about them, but primarily, I just think it's a huge waste of money. And if you see behind me, I have no shortage of things to waste money on, and I'd much rather, buy some Devils, whatever, or something else. A lot of things I'd prefer to spend my money on instead of that. And so it was never my thing. I never initiate a visit to one of those places. Like I said, I would go, as part of a bachelor party or something like that, or like random times when I was with a group of people and they all went, I would go, but I was never thrilled about it. And, definitely not my thing. Bathroom beers. Delilah's is cool. Sounds familiar. Where is that? Oh, you guys are connoisseurs. Jersey Roots has a VIP card in there. Tell them the Barbarian sent you. I'll let my buddies know. I'm not a big patron, but I know someone who is. I think everyone knows someone who is, right? But I'm sure, Ron, you're doing research and you're asking for a friend. I know. It's a cool spot. They'll dig it. Hughes Brothers, Markstrom, Laser, a lot of NJ Van history. Went to college in Myrtle Beach with going to strip clubs to keep drinking after the regular bars closed at 1 a.m. You got to find loopholes, right? Got to find the loopholes. Some Calgary NJD history too. Coleman, Markstrom, Neuendijk, Hamilton. Joe Neuendijk. What another great New Jersey Devils stint for a Hall of Fame player. Amidst a lot of Hall of Fame players who had stops with the Devils at some point in no particular order. Dave Anderchuk scored his 500th as a Devil, as did Joe Neuendijk, scored his 500th as a Devil. Obviously, we saw the legendary Jaromir Jagr have a brief stint in New Jersey. Shanny's second stint when he was already basically a lock for the Hall of Fame. Phil Housley had a stint. I'm trying to think who else. I'm probably missing a couple. Mogilny. Thank you. Alexander Mogilny. That's probably most of them, but I'm definitely probably forgetting a couple. I'm going to have to check that. I'm moving to Tom's River. It's not me, I swear. I just think it's funny conversation. I've also dipped on club visits, especially when they have cover charges. Yeah, I was the last guy in the line. There was like 10 people, maybe even 12 people, and they're all going in and, the blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, I'll be right there. And then I was like, shoot, and I dipped. And I went to the poker table. Great night at the Felts. I left Tom's River to Florida. Yeah, Mogilny. It was actually the same trip where I saw. I'm dying for Dermy to cave in that jock sniffer Rasmussen's face when we play them next. It's going to have a new wallpaper. Oh, as soon as that happened, that was disheartening. And I hope maybe that was like the wake-up call the boys needed. I don't know how there wasn't a melee after that. I mean, granted, Jack did initiate it. He went to lay the hit. He took the worst of it. And then when Rasmussen stood there and tried to taunt him, I was like, this type of aggression cannot stand. There needs to be a clapback. And there wasn't. And I hope it woke the team up. And I called for Curtis McDermott immediately after that game. And in the game against the Islanders, we saw Curtis McDermott. And then we saw him again against Anaheim. And I'm hoping we see him again soon. Sucks that it cost McKay and Arnott to get Langenbrunner and Newendijk, but can't complain with the cup. Absolutely. At the time, it was like, whoa. You know, obviously we knew Langenbrunner and Newendijk were very good players, but to lose guys like McKay and Arnott, you know, McKay being 1/3 of the infamous crash line, huge part of the 95 Cup team, and then obviously Arnott, the center and 1/3 of the A line. That was kind of a shocking trade. Probably one of the most shocking trades of my childhood where I was like, damn, Lou, you're ice cold. Ice cold. They all have cover charges. Rasmussen definitely has a target on him now. Big Mac is going to send his helmet into the seats. Oh, I hope so. Hopefully Devils can keep this type of play going. Yeah, absolutely. And we have a large game ahead of us. With every game now, the excitement's mounting for me. The boys are off today. Well, I was going to say the boys are off tomorrow, but it's Thursday. So the boys are off today. And then Friday night at 9 in Calgary. And I'm hoping they follow this gem of a performance up with another one. Because they play like that, we're going to win a lot more games than we're not. I'm sure the trade to Dallas that Calgary did for Newendijk had the prospect that turned out to be Jerome McGinley. Always loved Jerome McGinley. Another one of those guys I loved that was not a Devil, that just played super hard and, you know, gave his all. One of my favorite Jerome McGinley moments is definitely I think it was the 2004 Stanley Cup Finals where him and Vinny Lecavalier fought. It was a great thing to see. It was just shocking at the time. And everyone was like, oh my God, Lecavalier and McGinley throwing down. One guy I'd have loved to have seen as a Devil, but yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Ron, all right, I got to go or else I'm going to sleep until 2 p.m. tomorrow. Laugh my ass off. Good night, Ron. Have a good night, Ron. If anyone has anything else, throw it out there. Otherwise, I'm going to be shutting her down momentarily. If anyone has anything else, throw it out there. What's up, Max? Our team feels absolutely stacked. My only concern is our fourth line. Dying for Fitz to go out the deadline and build something similar to the Gianta, Carter, Bernier line. CBGB, the beautiful fourth line of Steven Gianta, Ryan Carter, Steve Bernier. Great fourth line in Devils history that was a big piece of that run to the cup that ultimately fell short at the hands of the Los Angeles Kings, and that one really hurts. It really does. Would have been great for Marty to get that cup at the end of his career. If Stevens was on this team in his prime, he blew up Quinn, how would the team react? The team would be fired up. No one cares that it's Jack and Luke's brother. That ain't their problem. What's another NJ food staple other than Taylor ham? I don't know that there's a specific like single food item like that. I would just say, you know, obviously New Jersey has tons of great Italian food. But in terms of like, I guess maybe there's some sort of, I don't know. I have buddies that like the oysters and shit. I don't eat any of that. But in terms of like Taylor ham, I don't think there's anything remotely near the level of that they're, you know, known for. Victory beers taste better than the Islander beer. Definitely does. Italian sub from Poor Boys. Where's Poor Boys? Jersey roots. That Bernier penalty was BS. Yeah, man, that was the beginning of the end. They could have just given him 2 minutes. They had to screw him, and then that was it. Would they score 2 or 3 power play goals, and that it was a wrap. The game was over. It was over before it started. Completely disappointing. Yeah, a lot of my friends eat seafood, so I know a lot of them like the you know, they get the oysters from, what is it? I forget. My buddy was telling me recently. We were in LBI for a couple of days break. I don't know if it's just me, but we have a talent of having absolutely badass third and fourth lines. Thinking of Nason and Cotter pickups with the old crash line. I mean, nothing's ever going to be the crash line, and you could see, which way do I have to move? You see right, it's hard for me to, right behind me here. You can see in the bottom right, like right here above my hand. That's Mike Peluso, Randy McKay, Bobby Holik, the crash line, one of my favorite lines in Devils history. I don't know that they'll ever be matched, but I would say that, you know, Nason, Cotter, and Halla could be, you know, it's still a ways away from it, in my opinion, but in terms of an effective third or fourth line, they would be, or have the potential to be, I should say, an impactful bottom six line. But the crash line is just so legendary. There's nothing like it. Happy Halloween. It was 3, if I remember correctly. What was 3? I don't know what that was in reference to. Killer blue crab. I would know nothing about it. I do not eat seafood. Jessica Harding. Hi from New Zealand. Go Devils. Hello, Jessica from New Jersey. Go Devils. Not a food, but diners in general. Yeah, New Jersey is definitely known for diners. Best diners in the country. I will say, post-COVID, I am devastated. I used to have a lot of local diners that were open 24/7. And I feel like now in New Jersey, there's virtually no diners that are open 24/7. And you might be lucky to find one that's open till midnight. During COVID, when they were forced to close, they figured out a way, or at least just realized that they probably don't do that much business from like midnight till the morning rush starts again. So they're probably like, why were we open 24 hours all these years? Like, we don't need to do it. And now no one's open 24 hours. It really sucks. Oh, 3. The goals on the power play. One guy I got my eye on at the deadline is Brandon Tanev. If Seattle misses, crazy speed and energy and fearless like his brother. Heavier. He's definitely heavier, edgier, more violent, and I would love it. Give me as many guys as possible like that before the playoffs. 3 goals on the Bernier 5-minute major. Yeah, it was horrible. A lot got clipped out during the vid. Hello, Dawson. Love the content from Alaska. Thank you very much. I appreciate you watching all the way from Alaska. What time is it in Alaska right now? I actually don't know what their time situation is in comparison to the East Coast. Brandon Tanev looking like he about to be taken to the nurse's office by his teacher in his team photo shoots. The diners I meant. Oh, yeah. Jersey Roots. Absolutely. A lot closed. And the ones that remained open, they're like, we're not 24 hours anymore. We close at 10 p.m. And I'm like, fuck. I used to love randomly going late. And a lot of times me and some of my buddies would go after Devils games. Not games we went to. Just like we'd watch the game at home and then we'd go to the diner and talk about it and bullshit. But those days are over pretty much. I forget. I think I found one kind of close to me, but it's not that close. It's like 20 minutes away. I think they might be open till 12 or 1, but it's brutal. It's 11:25. Okay, so you're way, yeah. Nothing better than a 3 a.m. diner run. There really isn't. And one of my favorite things about diners is that I'm a big breakfast food guy, and sometimes I'll get like, Taylor ham, egg, and cheese on a roll like at random times. But one thing I love about diners is that a lot of times I would get both breakfast and like lunch/dinners foods. Like, so for a while, my go-to was like I would get a Taylor ham, egg, and cheese and an order of chicken tenders and fries. I mean, where else can you do that other than a diner? I am from Whitehorse, Yukon, and guys, where are you from? Pizza, burgers, and rice pudding. Oh my God, I haven't had rice pudding in a while, but I love rice pudding. Oh man, I used to buy the Cozy Shack, the big, I don't know what the hell they call that. There's a tub, some sort of, now I'm going to be thinking about rice pudding. Gravy fries with the sheet. Gravy fries absolutely are the sheet. And, a lot of other places in New Jersey call them disco fries where they put the gravy on it, the gravy and the melted mutts. Beautiful combination. You guys are making me hungry with all this food talk. Disco fries hit the spot for me. Yep. Yeah, Jeff, I think they hit it for everyone. All right, guys, that's it. This has been a marathon. It's 3:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Our New Jersey Devils went to Vancouver tonight for the Hughes Bowl #2 and just completely owned the Vancouver Canucks, winning by a score of 6-0 with 6 different goal scorers. Jacob Markstrom with the shutout. Nico Hischier with his league-leading 10th goal and 2 assists to go with it. The PK was great, getting a shorty, courtesy of Dawson Mercer. Markstrom looking like he's on top of his game with the shutout. And it was just an absolute beautiful performance by the boys. Hopefully they followed up with another one on Friday night with Jacob Markstrom playing his former team. And hopefully that's win #2 on the road trip and would officially be our 3rd win in a row. And after 3, I'm calling it a winning streak. I think I can't call 2 a winning streak. I think 3 is officially a winning streak. And so the next game, the winning streak potential is on the line. I hope we see it. And I'm hoping we go into Edmonton and beat up on the McDavid-less Oilers as well and come home to New Jersey just riding super high. Riding super high, Jeff. Got some get some rest. Thanks for the hoodie. Great quality. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Jersey Roots. Yeah. As they said during the Rempe McDermott fight, we had a gas. Thank you again for streaming. Ace. Thank you, Puck Gobo. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for participating. Thank you for coming into the live after this beautiful Devils win. Thanks to all of you. I'm shocked how many people stayed up this late, or at least are on different time zones. But at one point, we had a good amount of people in here. I mean, 63 is still way more than I would have thought at this hour. And all good things from the New Jersey Devils. Let the good vibes roll. Jersey Roots, best hockey show going. Ace, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Thank you all. It's been fun. If you're newer to the channel, check out some of the videos I put up in the past couple of weeks. I'm always putting something on there. A lot of cool stuff in the works, as always. And that's it. I'm done. I'm completely out of gas. 3:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The boys did it big tonight in Vancouver. I couldn't be happier, and I'll be back soon. Thank you for watching. Thank you for participating. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devils.